Hey everybody, this is Walter. I am using my Necrons for a classic battle. We're going up against Thomas, and this is my same old Awoken Dynasty Necrons versus his same old Gladius. So it's just a classic slobber knocker of a matchup. I've got two massive units of warriors, shotguns or Gauss Reapers. There's 20 of them over there and 20 of them over there. They're each led by a Plasmancer as well as a Royal Warden. Put Royal Wardens in your warders is my catchphrase, or warriors, excuse me. Illuminor Zeros is also here to buff those dudes. Then I've got a nice 3-pack of Scorpek Lords. They're each leading a Scorpek unit. One of them is a little brighter than the others. That guy has the enhancement that makes him 4+ Feel No Pain. I've got a 6-man Wraith unit led by a Technomancer. And then instead of my 3-man Wraith unit, I'm going with a little tanky guy here, the Spider Tank. Ignoring cover is something my list has always wanted, so his guns can make that happen. And he's a lot like Wraiths as far as his durability goes, so that'll be an interesting thing to try out. And then lastly, I've got a trio of guys for objective. These are Locust Lords. They've got Scarab Gauntlets to give them Feel No Pain, War Scythes, and they're just more characters. So I'm even harder into being easy to assassinate, and the enemy essentially can't Bring It Down anymore. So that's nice. So that's the team. We've got the Veil of Darkness for one enhancement, and the other one is the Feel No Pain on the Bright Scorpek Lord. We've had many battles with Thomas. I've typically won them since 10th edition has started. That's just going to keep happening. But from time to time, you know, the Emperor has to show that he can still kill a tiger. So we'll just do that today, and then we'll have an interesting matchup maybe next week. See ya.
All right, so we've randomly drawn. I tried not to pick missions that we play all the time, but I left them in the stack, and I still drew Taken Hold. So despite my best efforts, we're playing Taken Hold. We do have Sweep and Clear, which I've played this. I don't know if I've ever played this mission, but this is Sticky Objectives. So that'll be interesting versus Walter. And then we got Sweeping Engagement. So a little bit different than what we've been playing. We've been practicing for tournaments, so we've played those missions over and over again, so something slightly different. I've taken fixed objectives. I've gone with Assassinate and Deploy Homers. I really don't like taking fixed. My army is like very mobile, and I want to like use that ability. But against Walter, he just has so many characters. He can bring them back to life. I want to disincentivize them there. He's just going to bring them back. So like he's got a lot of Assassinate. Deploy Homers is just the thing that's hard for me to get. He's going tactical, so he's just going to do the things. I'll let him talk about why he's picking tactical, but.
Thank you, Thomas. Thomas's army, it's a trap. Like, you see the 5 characters that you think you can assassinate, but they're so well hidden and you know, hidden away in land raiders or behind his whole army or just too tough to fight. I've never gotten good value out of assassinating to Thomas, so I don't view it as a live secondary. So with that said, my choices became homers or steal enemy objectives for the 2, and I didn't think that was good, so I just decided to do tactical. I figure I'll win the attrition and score tactical by being on an empty board, you know. It'll just all work out. It can't be that hard. Thomas does it. Just out in the open in the field, because I knew I was going to go first, because I'm a good player and he is not. I'm going to push up and take all the objectives and challenge his bad army to battle my strong one. When he can't, I will win the game. It's exactly that simple. I'm very, very confident in this plan. In a world where it doesn't go wrong, I suppose I'll just be standing behind a bunch of terrain and cowering before his firepower. But you know, let's not live in a sad world. I'm going to scout this tank forward here. I've got a scout in my army for the first time, so that's big doings. Wraiths over here to get that objective. A guy here. All sorts of important stuff going to go up. I'm planning to stage my Scorpeks in the middle, hopefully where he can't get at them, and take fully the objectives with expendable guys. That's the plan. And then next turn, I'm planning to hurt whatever he sends out to fight. Let's see how we go. Hello, fans of the Dynasty. We have turn 1, a very uneventful turn. My Spider rolled up and charged his tank to seal it in the gap, so my new piece is getting squandered immediately. This won't be a good tryout for it. But I've taken this objective here with Wraiths. This guy is deploying, investigating those corners, the signals there. Back at home, I have another Locust Lord on the point while the Veil guys investigate some signals. This objective here I've taken with a Locust Lord for being in all 4 quarters, and then also a Scorpek Lord with his guys trailing back through the wall. And I've pressed very hard in the middle with a warrior unit defended by Illuminor Xeros and a Scorpec unit that is got the Feel No Pain. So I'm pushing really hard over there. I'm trying to hold the center. I'm hoping Calgar can't advance through that wall and reach my boys. He probably can, but he doesn't necessarily want to fight 20 warriors. There's a lot of things he'd prefer to fight, so it's a very complicated turn. But that's my top one. Didn't accomplish anything, but I got a bunch of points thanks to the magic of tactical secondaries. Which is to say I got investigate signals for 2, for 4, and then I was in all quarters for 5. So a total of 9 points. See ya.
All right. Walter's put the pressure on, as he does. Every time I put units in reserve, I'm like, why did I put those guys in reserve? I could use them right now. He's tagged my land raider, so I can't drive out and deal with those wraiths. I was hoping I'd go first and I could put the whammy on him. Why he has a low CP. But he has pushed up, so I have plenty of options to kill. So the choices here, we're going to go into the Assault Doctrine. I think it's go time, because, you know, that's what we do around here. Like, it's go time. I was able to scout back, but I didn't scout quite enough, so his Scorpec, whatever this thing is, this Walker guy, was able to get a few shots on me. Luckily, he didn't kill him all the way, so I still got guys to get deploy for one turn, so thankfully didn't screw that up. We have a Land Raider here. I think we can, between the guys inside and the Land Raider, we can deal with that. And then we just go for the advance. If Calgar rolls hot, he's got some targets here. That's Ceres and a unit of guys. We really want to get rid of the guys. Ceres is super annoying. He has to get somebody up so I can kind of threaten Ceres, and then that might save him from using it somewhere else. The captain here, if he rolls hot on his advance, can go challenge out that Scorpec Lord, or the Technomancer, I'm sorry, so he doesn't get Feel No Pain later. That's big for the race. And then over here, we have good old Uriel hanging out, saying there's more Scorpec Lords here. These are the guys we want to fight. And I think we have an angle here with the Lancer to do things, so it probably will drive up and try to soften him up. Since he's got the Lord up front, there's no escaping what's coming. So I think that's what we're going to do. Let's roll some advances and see if we make it, and then we'll come back and reconvene. All right, real quick mid-turn 1 recap. We've done all our advances. Calgar rolled a 3, so I felt like, well, that's a 6-inch charge to Ceres. Big boy over here, Captain, rolled a 5, so he's going in hot on these guys. And Cursors rolled a 1, of course, so not many people can come out. I've poked some scouts out. We're going to try to take some pot shots at the boy in the back. Landers chilling here. Going to try to take these guys out. We have some mines and other things to kind of help out with that. And then the Lancer has an angle on his Scorpex. And Uriel here is going to come in hot. We have 3 CP, so we have all the power in the world to do the things. We'll see if we can pull it off.
All right, well, one of the penalties of not really using a lot of reserves, you got to make do with what you got. So on this flank, I did not resurrect enough Wraiths, so I'm going to see if I can swallow up his unit by bringing an extra character in, defeating this captain. My draw were behind enemy lines and assassinate. I'm not going to try for behind enemy lines because I need the CPs, but I feel like assassinate's going to happen because he's got 4 characters in the front lines. Over here, the warriors have line of sight on a unit of his boys, so we're just going to hurt them. With our rerolls, there'll be very few left alive after that. The other warriors have veiled into position over here. They're going to put some harm on his tank and then try and charge onto this objective, where meanwhile my characters are untouched and are winning this fight. So in general, I'm looking to clean him off the middle of the table, leave him with without Calgar and Ventress and all his special characters and his super captain. He'll be a shooting army, and then I'm going to hunker down and wait for the game to end as I beat him on primary. That's the plan. We'll see how it goes.
All right. Into turn 2, a lot of damage. The big story here, this guy's sitting on 2 wounds. The Lancer was able to one-shot him. He failed 1 save. I was doing big damage. He died. He spent his CP to get back up. Uriel charged him. He had 4 saves to take. He failed 2. He had 4 wounds. He died, but he rerolled with his last CP, made it, stayed alive, fought and killed the Blade Guard down to just Uriel. Over here, the Bolter guys did all the business, killed them, picked up an assassinate. So that's 2 assassinates. Over here, the combined might was too much. Did all the business there, got 2 more assassinates. So a lot of work done. Calgar holding on with 1 wound. He took a couple of saves there. Just failed some 3-ups, but he's still alive. He'll probably die for sure next turn, but he's done some work on these warriors, so they're slowly getting whittled down. He'll have to kind of try to bring them back to life now, but hopefully that's enough to sustain some work here. So let's go to Walter's turn and see what happens in turn 3.
Well, this game has gotten a little ugly. We're yin-yang it. He has taken this flank really hard, but that's all his models that are live on the board. I've got over here pretty solidly under my control. It's a sticky objective. He does still have a unit of scouts that are uppy-downy, so they're going to be coming behind my lines to deploy some homers. And he went second, so he's got a 15 coming at the end of the game. But the primary has been slanting in my direction. I do have to deal with the fact that his secondaries are very good because he chose fixed. We are heading towards a very medium game. I'm hoping to keep it a Necron slight win, but it could trend easily away from me. Thomas's army is wily and squirrely at the final analysis. We'll see how it goes.
All right, a couple of critical rolls. I did not go my way. I put my assault guys, my incursors into assault doctrine. I needed extra movement, so I was going to advance and charge, but I needed to shoot to get the extra movement. Fortunately, I needed a 3 to get into that ruin to be able to see these warriors, and I rolled a 2. I rolled for these guys to jump into land rare. They needed a 1. They rolled a 6. I'm like, no, you stole my 6. And I'm like, well, these guys can advance and shoot. I need a 4 to clear the wall to get on this objective, to at least try to contest them. I rolled a 3. So everyone failed their jobs. Now it's just try to kill these warriors, kill this guy, get my last assassinate. He will stand back up because that's what he does. So that will be all but that'll give him the primary unless I can somehow make this charge with the Land Raider. So it's so crazy hard. I'll have to roll really high. It'll jive over the crate, so it can make it.
Okay, I get it.
It goes through the crate, right? So if I roll enough for this to clear, I can make it.
That makes sense.
But crazy. It doesn't look great. So let's see if I can kill him first. Then we'll worry about charge. All right. Well, the damage is done. You see the Land Raider standing on there. He needed a 9 to clear the crate. Or an 8 and some change. It was close. I rolled a 9. I made it. I was able to fight here. He did die. So that's his wounds after he grew back. But I was able to contest the objective so big. The Warriors got boltered to death. He was trying to decide if he was going to keep one of those guys alive versus this guy. He decided to keep him alive to hold the primary, but I made the charge. So over here, the scouts came in from reserves, threatening his home base, but got deployed in his home base. So that's it for me. That's a big turn to take that primary off of him. I needed to kind of keep that score down. It is now going into turn 4 for Walter. He's kind of running out of stuff. Let's see if I can keep the pressure on.
All right, sports fans. Every dog has his day, and today may be the day of the cowardly Thomas Bird. I am desperately trying to hold low. All right, so this guy is looking to charge and potentially hold these guys off. I want to be far enough away from them that they cannot fall back onto the point. So if I hold them more than 6 away, even if they fall back in the tactical doctrine, they cannot advance. They won't be able to get on my point. That will also keep them from going uppy downy and being a nuisance. All right, so that's the plan for them. Over here, I respawned closer to get this. We're going to try a charge to steal this objective from the Land Raider, which has unfortunately annoyingly taken it. We'll leave this one in the care of the sticky objective rule. These guys are also just kind of coming over here to be a nuisance. I don't have a concrete plan for them at this time. Illuminor, God King that he is deploying a teleport Homer for 5. Because he cannot stop winning. My objectives for this round are the accursed tactical gods have come through for me a bit. I've got homers and storm hostile, so I got a cool 10 as long as the warriors make that charge. Combine that with my 10 on primary, and I'm coasting into what is starting to look like the weak side of a draw. But game has just kind of not gone to plan. Thomas is wily and tough, and when he gets bottom 5, it can just be a really annoying thing. So we'll see how we go.
All right, big turn here. We got to do some work on him. I needed to make sure I could deploy homers there, so I had to spend a CP to auto pass with that guy. He made the charge, punched out his friend, so I needed to stay alive. So spent the CP so he can do it. I'm in the tactical doctrine, so falling back. So that scout's back in there deploying homers. These guys, they needed a 5 on their advance. It was dicey whether I could fit over the wall. I rolled a 6, made it easy. I was able to jump over the wall, steal his objective. It's going to cost me a bolter guy that can shoot at these warriors who have oathed, but totally worth it to steal his primary there. And then we're just lining up. We're just trying to kill all the things. Our Ratigators came out. We're going to try to punk Zera, so if he dies, he doesn't give the AP here. We have the 1 CP left to ignore cover, so we can put the full Monty on the Warriors, and the Land Raider will try to clean up whoever's left. So let's do all the work. He's already got this guy up once, so he cannot get up again. Let's see what we do. All right, big turn. We did pop Ceres. We did 6 wounds on him. He failed 3, and then I rolled 21 damage at plus mental range. He died. So he got back up. He's on 5 wounds. That left the Warriors exposed. 5 guys did 15 shots, did 23 wounds with the hitting on 2s and re-rolling. The Incursors gave him the buff. Fishing for 6s. He survived that, but the Land Raider was able to flame and kill the rest of them. And then multi-melt a Hunter Killer and Assault Cannon. It took all of it to finish off the wounded Scorpec Lord. So all those guys are dying. We got Max Assassinate. We got another deploy. We are going into his turn 5. He's only on 5 primary. That's going to be big ones.
So, unfortunately for me, if you'll look at the scoreboard here, the game is going to come down to what I draw in the last round of Tactical. I've been stymied by some really, really excellent rolling. His average on 1d6 is 5.7. But there are objectives that I can score and objectives that I cannot score, and I have no way to alter it, so my fate is in the hands of the tactical deck. Our primary is a perfect draw. Our secondaries have been better for him than me, but if I get good secondaries on this last turn, then the game will be in the neighborhood of a draw. Depending on exactly what he gets on the last turn. If I get 10 points, I will win by 1. If I get less than that, he will win by wings. But it's in the neighborhood of a draw. On the other hand, I could just draw tempting targets and some other stuff I couldn't get, and I could lose by 10. So assuming he gets 15 on the last round, the only thing that matters in this game is how many points of secondary, again, I score over here. So that's just what we're going to find out.
All right, that is it. Look at this. Thomas has pulled a rare victory over Walter. I will take it. This and glory, and it's 88-80. I was able to pick up the 15 on his final turn. That big advance really held him back, and he needed a big draw on the secondaries. He had already used his redraw. He drew Cleanse for 3, and he drew Bring It Down. He could not kill the Land Raider. It was down to that, so he only picked up 3 in the final round. I was able to get my last deploy. I had multiple units in his deployment zone. So, full assassinate, 18 on the deploy, 88-80. What a great game. It's like old times playing Walter, so I'll give it to him to wrap it up.
Always a joy. You can see here he got me 88-80. And those 10 points, we know how they were lost. There was a 6-inch advance with no reroll available that he hit, and there was a 9-inch charge with no reroll available that he hit. Each of those costing 5 points and sliding us behind. But in truth, the real failure, I think, was earlier when I decided to play a tactical game. Tactical cards just don't like me. Drawing at the end and being like, well, I hope it's one I can get. Oh no, it's not, is a terrible feeling. I did love to have all the CPs, but I think I probably should have just been on my typical cleanse and assassinate like my opponent was. I think that would have been a much better play. Regardless, it was a game that Thomas took skillfully away from me, and I won't take that away from him. He has pulled ahead in our rivalry with now his 3rd ever win to my mountains. I want to say 15 at last check. But nonetheless, he's had the most recent. Yes, none of us have a book full of them. But next time I will have to take revenge with different and better secondaries. A new one with blackjack and workers. See you next time, team.
All right. Get my face on the camera for a little bit. Just to say thanks for watching. It's been a lot of time since we had some videos. I got Typhus here in the background. Who doesn't love more Ultramarine power? Oh, so good. Here in the Tabletop Live Studio, Pro Tabletop. We're just back from DreamHack, so lots of exciting stuff. We're going to be putting out more and more content, so just be prepared. The videos are going to come hot and heavy. I've been on a little bit of hiatus trying to stand the NTL up, the National Tabletop League, but now we got it going. We got more exciting things there planned, so look for more stuff in the future. Some announcements maybe next week. And yeah, hit that like, share, and subscribe with your friends. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.